Hello, guys. Hello. It's Sunday. This means another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie creators about their lives and careers and books and campaigns because mainstream comics lost me. I'm kind of done with mainstream, and indie comics is where the passion is and the fun is, guys. So, yes. Welcome, everyone. So it's Sunday, and Sunday is my writing day. For some reason, Sunday it's the best day for me to write. I have my work done, I have other stuff done that I need to do, and I can get cracking and focusing on stories. And so yeah, it was a very productive day. So and today we reached 490 subscribers on the YouTube channel. So thank you all so much for subscribing, guys. Thank you. So 10 more and we reach 500. And when we reach 500, we need to do something special for you guys. I'm not yet sure what, but we'll think of something. Just first, let's get there, right? Let's get there. Wow. Okay, guys. If you're watching, or then just throw out the stream, share it on social media. Let's bring some more people in, right? And by the way, the last stream that I had, StreamYard was a little bit screwy. So for some reason, it didn't show me the chat. So the chat didn't move. It stood still, and suddenly, to the end of the show, suddenly all comments popped up and I missed a lot. So I'm very sorry about that. I can't really help that. I hope things go better today. In any case, we have a wonderful guest today with a cool looking campaign. So let's just bring him on. Guys. Let me see. Do I have it ready? I have it ready. So let's welcome to the show, Mr. Justin Belmont.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello, Justin. How are you today, man?
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. I think I'm losing my voice for some reason.
Man, well, I streamed for 6 hours last night. I wasn't sure if I would have a voice today.
Yeah. Well, 6 hours stream, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't get this many people together for a stream. And for 6 hours, no, it's not doable. So anyway, before we start, Justin, I need to ask you, like I ask all my guests, what are you drinking?
I'm not much of a drinker. I am smoking instead.
Smoking. Okay.
Alternative to drinking.
Smokes the fox. Is that a connection there?
Yeah, I basically created the character around the same time I discovered marijuana and comic books.
Right.
So
Okay.
um, that's how it came to be.
So you got the best ideas during that time.
Yeah, when I'm high, I get the best ideas, and when it's
Yes.
quiet and late at night and everyone's asleep, then yes, I can get a lot of stuff done, and that's the best time for me to work.
Right. All right. Cool. I don't see anyone in the chat yet, which is odd. Usually there are people here, so I'm not sure if it's StreamYard or whatever. Anyway, Justin. So let's first talk a little bit about you, about your history with comic books. So because you made a comic book, right? So you have a
Yes.
history, I think, with comic
Yeah,
books. Were
yeah, yeah.
you a collector?
Yeah, I started collecting comics probably around 15 years old.
Okay,
I used to collect baseball cards, and there was this shop called Ravenswood. I'm from upstate New York,
that's a
and there's
cool
this
name
little
for a shop.
yeah, it was called Ravenswood. It's this little shop downtown in my city, and we would just take a nice walk in the summer to the shop, and usually just go buy baseball cards because that's what we were into. But when we go get the baseball cards, I would always notice the comics on the shelf.
Sure.
And my earliest memories were seeing like the Joe Jusko Punisher covers from the late '80s,
Hmm.
all those painted covers. And then actually Mike Barron was writing those comics, but I didn't really know who he was at the time.
Yeah.
And the first comic book I think I bought though was at the mall. So I used to see the comic covers and he intrigued me. And then one day I was in the mall and I was walking by some little shop and it had a little window. And in the window there was a taped comic book and it was the New Mutants '87 or is it '86? The one with the first appearance of Cable.
All right. I don't know the number, but
Yeah,
yeah,
the famous cover. And
sure. Yeah.
it wasn't a new comic when I saw it. It was probably like 2 or 3 months old.
Well, it's
And it
pretty
was
new.
yeah, it was pretty new, but they wanted like double the price than the cover price or whatever. I think it was like $6, something like that. And that was a
Oh,
lot of money for that
yeah.
time. And I'm just a little kid, but I walked by that window and I said, I have to have that comic book. I don't know why. So Rob Liefeld's art is what brought me to buy my first comic book.
Right.
That cover.
That was the first
Um,
comic you bought ever.
Yeah. And then some of the other early comics that I bought was Namor when Jay Lee was on it. And
Right.
I never gave a shit about that character. I didn't like that character. But since when I saw Jay Lee's art, I never knew who he was. He was kind of new
Hmm.
on the scene. But I just noticed his artwork stood out um, on the shelf. And I had to buy Namor because of the artist, not because of the character.
Right. Yes. Yes. So you weren't familiar with the artist with Jay Lee either. So
Now he was kind of new on the scene back then. That was like
yes.
his first work.
Right.
But I noticed his covers and I thought they were unbelievable. Because if you can make Namor look cool, you know what I mean? You
Yes,
are a good
indeed.
artist. You're a good
Yes.
artist.
I think much later, years later, his style became more polished, right? Which was a
Yeah.
shame, really, because that raw energy from the beginning, that was excellent. That was cool.
Yeah, I was a big fan from the beginning. I always liked his artwork. And I thought, as a kid, if I was ever going to put out my comic book Smokes, I would want G. Lee to draw the cover.
Right.
Uh, Later on, when I talked to Jay Lee, I had him draw Smokes on one of my sketch covers,
Really?
my Smoke sketch covers. Yeah,
Excellent.
but I can't use it, publish it or anything. But it was just cool that I kind of, accomplished my dream. So I put out my comic book, and then I got G Lee to draw on my sketch cover. But
Wait,
I
you
don't
had
know.
a sketch cover? What do you mean?
Yeah,
Is
I
that
made a Smoke sketch cover version.
mhm.
Like a blank sketch cover, and I
Right?
asked Jay
A
Lee if
blank
he would
cover,
draw
right?
on it. Yeah, and he's like,
Okay.
"You want me to draw it in my style?" And I was like, "Of course." And yeah, I have it on my campaign. I have the drawing that he did for me. But I always
Too
loved
bad you can't
comics.
use it.
Yeah, I always loved comics, and just one day I was drawing with my friend, and I came up with the idea of Smokes. I drew a fox head and threw like a pipe in his mouth, and then on the pipe I just put a simple X. So I thought it needed some kind of I don't know, some kind of trademark. So I put like an X on his pipe, and I got the idea from Cerebus. You know how Cerebus, the aardvark, has that one eye, like Sonic the Hedgehog, kind of have like
Right.
that
Yeah, yeah.
Una eye or whatever you want to call it. And I
Yeah.
kind of I always liked that.
One eye
So I
with two
drew,
pupils.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
drew that. I drew the fox. How Dave Sim and Gerhard drew Cerebus, but I made like
Mhm.
a fox version of Cerebus, and I gave
Right.
him a pipe. So that's how I got. That's how Smokes was created. Just
Right.
that simple. Just smoking with a friend and just sketching. And
So
then
you were stoned as fuck, and then you came up with this character,
yeah, I
like
just drew a
like the
headshot.
visual, right?
Yeah, just the
Yeah.
headshot, and
Yeah.
then later on, I just kept it in the back of my head. Like I got to do something with that character, and then like every so many years, that thought would come back to me, like I got to do something with that. And then
Mhm.
in 2018, I decided to put the comic book out after noticing EVS put out Cyber Frog and this whole scene with Comicsgate, and I see that it's now possible with crowdfunding platforms that you can actually put out your own comic book. And
Mhm.
I thought, now's the time for me to do the comic that I always wanted to do.
Yes.
And so I pulled the trigger. I walked up to Mike Barron's table at a local comic convention because Mike lives out here in Colorado.
Okay.
And there's this little small convention. It's just a little room in a hotel. It's called the Rocky Mountain Con. And usually Mike Barron goes there every year. And so I've seen him a few times. He didn't really know who I was. I just go there, get an autograph, and say thanks. Maybe buy a book.
Sure.
But in 2018, I decided I'm gonna pitch, my comic and see what he says. What the hell is he gonna? The worst thing he can say is, get the hell out of here, kid.
Yes.
So I just said, I got this idea for a pot smoking fox, and would you want to write my comic? And he goes, I'm in, just like that.
Possibly.
And
That was
and
it.
I didn't.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I just went for it. You know what I mean? I just told him what it was about, and I didn't have any idea if he was gonna, like the idea, for the concept. And he said he was in right away, and I thought he was joking, but he was serious. So, I gave him the outline of how I wanted the issue to go, like what happens in the story, and he came back with a script like 3 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later. It's pretty quick, and he
Yes.
added
Indeed.
Weaponized Werewolf to the script, but he named him Cheney after Vaughn Cheney,
Right.
the werewolf, the Wolf Man.
The Wolfman. Okay.
Yeah, and I thought, so when I was working on Smokes, the production went kind of slow. My artist, I don't, for whatever reason, wasn't like producing a lot of pages as quickly as I would like. He was taking his time, and I thought, well, maybe instead of making Smokes a longer book, I can do something with this Cheney character and do 2 books for my campaign, and I can get more work done with 2 different artists, working independently on 2 different books. So
Mhm.
I asked Mike if he would write like a quick 12-page script, and I thought that Cheney wasn't really a good name for the comic books. Cheney the werewolf. I don't think anybody would really want to like back something called that. So I thought he needed a cool name. So I was up
Mhm.
one night and I was thinking, what's a good name for this werewolf? And I came up with Weaponized Werewolf. I wanted to do like a title kind of like Wonder Woman, where she has 2 W's in her name.
Sure.
But I just thought Weaponized Werewolf was a little bit too long, but it sounded cool anyway, though.
No, it's not too long. It sounds cool. But if you call the book Weaponized Werewolf, you're saying something about the character, about the story, right?
Yeah.
So it's so did this influence the story also, or the name?
Um, the story. Mike put the character in as the villain of the story. So how the story goes is
Oh, the
Smokes escape.
werewolf is the villain.
Yeah. What
Okay.
basically there's a secret military project called Project Minotaur,
Hmm.
and it takes place in this underground military facility on the Colorado New Mexico border. If you're familiar with UFO lore, there's supposedly Area 52, the secret base underground called Dulce Base,
Okay.
also known as Area 52. So I kind of took that lore where supposedly in this base there's aliens working with humans, and they're doing genetic experiments on human beings and stuff like that. And so I kind of used that lore from my story. So Smokes and Cheney were created in this lab. Smokes wasn't what they were looking for. He's intelligent, but he's not like a warrior, super soldier, or whatever. He's not like good for war or anything like that. And then Cheney is the opposite, where he's good for war, but you don't know what the hell he's gonna do. You don't know what to expect. You know what I mean? He's doesn't take orders very well.
All right. Right. So
So
you kind of combined these stories. So you had Mike's character and your character, and you combined it into one story.
yes, and so Weaponized Werewolf is the prequel to Smokes. It takes place 15 years prior to Smokes the Fox. But when you read both books, they go together.
Right.
So Smokes escapes the facility, and they send Weaponized Werewolf to eliminate him, to kill him before everybody finds out about the secret military program, and that there's. So he's half human and half fox,
Hmm.
and Cheney is half wolf and half human. So he's not like your typical werewolf that transforms when the moon is full and all
Right.
that stuff. So he always looks like this.
It always looks like this. Okay. Maybe we
Yes.
can show people the trailer.
Yeah, play
Um,
that.
all right. Here we go. Okay. Cool. That was
Yeah, I
put
wrote the
together
trail. I
nicely.
wrote. Yeah, I wrote the trailer. Kurt Hathaway did that trailer for me. He's the guy who did the letters.
Okay.
Um,
Yes.
he's been doing letters in comics for over 30 years.
Yes.
He's a great guy. He used to work for Extreme Studios with Rob Liefeld.
Wow. Cool, man. That's awesome. Right. Are you now on FundMyComic? I see you have over 10K right now. That's
Yep,
excellent,
that's
man.
that's combined Kickstarter, Indiegogo, and FundMyComic, and a lot of promoting. I've done over 100 shows now, like
Wow.
this one, promoting all the way from the sign up page until now. Just getting out there, spreading the word. So it wasn't easy. Takes a lot of work. A lot of people think you can just launch a comic book. You press, launch, and people
Yes.
just magically appear in back of your book. That's not the case.
No.
Um, if you don't, you
No.
got to be a part of the community and help other people as well, other creators. And I think people don't get that. A lot of creators don't get that. Even if your book looks great, no one knows who you are. You're not going to get as many backers as you think you are.
Yes.
So it's best to, become part of the community first before you even think about launching a book. You
Hmm.
know.
And you said that you approached Mike Barron in 2018, right?
Yes, it was
Or
late 2018 because the convention's like in November,
sure.
and he's.
When was the book finished? When did you launch for the first time?
I believe well, the book wasn't finished, but it was almost done. But I launched it in February of last year.
Right.
I
Okay.
launched the campaign,
Hmm.
and by the time I got the comics printed, it was July
Right.
of
Okay.
last year, and I was pretty close to hitting my fulfillment date. I think it was most backers got their books on time, except a few backers got their books about 2 weeks late. So that's
Two
pretty
weeks late.
good. And
That's
yeah, that's
good.
like nothing in this
No.
in this scene. Some people are waiting on their books over 2 years late or whatever.
Yes.
But I didn't really. I wanted to be early, but they had toner shortages and paper shortages, so I was unable to get my comic book out quicker. I wanted to
Hmm.
be the guy who like gave you your book early, but
Sure.
I'm working on Smokes 2 right now, so I'm
Hmm.
just taking my time with that.
Is that
Um,
also with Mike?
yeah, Mike already finished the script, and
Okay.
then Aldous did the editing already for me.
Right. So what's your role? So you created this Smokes character,
Yeah,
right?
I created the character. I'm coming up with the plot, how it's gonna go, pretty much.
Hmm.
Mike is doing the scripts. I'm kind of like the project manager, make sure everything looks good. I just got my first batch of thumbnails from my artist for issue 2,
Hmm. Cool.
and I had to give a bunch of feedback to that. So she's working on 5 pages. They're going to be like the pages that I show on the next campaign, like the spotlighted pages.
Hmm.
Um, so they're specific pages from the script, and I want him to knock these pages out of the park. You know what I mean? I really want him to do a great job on these key pages.
Oh, you
So
first
he's
you first make the most important pages that you wanted to showcase for the campaign.
yes, the showcase
Right.
pages. That's what we're doing right now. And then
Hmm.
once the showcase pages are done, we'll go back to whatever page one, and go back to numbered order.
Sure.
Um,
Sure. So
but
your artist is called Oaks,
yeah, Lee Oaks.
Lee
He
Oaks,
lives in
right?
Colorado too, so my whole team is kind of like in Colorado.
Okay.
But this time around, Peter Palmiotti is going to do the inks for the interiors.
Oh, cool. That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Peter's a great guy. He did the Demon in a Bong inks on
Right.
that inside cover for my comic.
So this is
And
this also by Oaks, right? This is
no,
it's a different
Oaks
artist.
didn't do these covers. This is Gerhard from
Oh,
Cerebus.
oh, okay,
That's Don Perlin cover right there from Bloodshot, Ghost Rider.
okay. Don Perlin. All right. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it says Gerhard here in the corner for some reason.
yeah, Gerhard did the coloring on that cover.
Oh, the coloring. Right. Okay, okay.
Yes. And Gerhard did everything on this cover. So he did the coloring, the inks, everything.
Right.
Uh,
See the bear here.
yeah, I told him to put as many nocturnal animals from Colorado into the cover.
Yes. Yes. That
I've
that
seen
this this helps when you're all from the same like area, so you know what kind of animals you can expect there.
he lives in Canada, actually.
Oh, he lives in Canada. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Gerhard lives in Canada. And he did this print once of a Wolverine, and since he's from Canada, he put like all the animals from all the wildlife from Canada in the background of this
Yes.
print. So I got the idea from his other print, but instead
Mhm.
this was a nighttime scene, and I wanted nocturnal animals from Colorado.
Yes.
And you got the horned owl, and you got a red fox right there by the light of of the motorcycle, and you
Yeah,
got some
cool.
bats and stuff like that. I thought he did a good job. He knocked it out of the park.
I had once with one of the artists I work with for one of my series, which took place in the Netherlands, and he's from the Philippines. And
Yep.
I wrote this part of the script where the hero was in the forest and forest animals approached him, right? So he drew like bears and stuff, but we don't have bears here in the Netherlands. It was a beautiful, it was a
Oh, you
beautiful
don't have
art, but he
bears.
had to remove the bears. Yeah. Okay, you have some interior work. So what's the scene here? What we're looking at?
Um, the scene here is you can see that Smokes and Cheney are locked up in this underground facility,
Hmm.
and that alien gray up there in the top right, his name is Sepoy.
Okay.
He kind of runs the joint, I guess you can say, even ahead of all the humans. And without his alien technology, none of this is possible. So he
Hmm.
like oversees the lab,
Right.
and
So what's the reason that because so they cross human DNA with like predatory animal DNA,
yeah, they just
and
take a standard fox and they mix it with the human DNA, and we
right,
got like a hybrid.
and what's the purpose?
They want to make super soldiers.
Okay.
And they're trying different kinds of animals. The fox and the wolf weren't the only animals that they've tried. Um, and another page, you can see there's like this squirrel-looking character. So there's different. They're trying out different hybrids to find out which one worked the best for this
Right.
program, for
Right.
their purposes.
So these were animals. Now they get like human-like features,
Yeah, and they
and
got
they get human-like intelligence also.
yeah, it's a mixture of both worlds. And
Hmm.
Smokes is highly intelligent, but he's a little
Okay.
scrawny little thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is after he escapes. He kind of wearing like a disguise. He doesn't want to walk around as a fox.
Hmm.
And this is where he steals the motorcycle. This is how he gets his ride, his
All
hog.
right. Right. Cool. All right. Great. Then so he likes to smoke pipe.
Yeah, that's the first time he ever got high. He steals somebody's stash. Some kids were camping outside,
Right.
and then he's seeing purple pandas because he got so high. That's what's going on in that. It's a little humor
Sure.
in the book.
So is this
Uh,
yeah, this isn't I was about to ask, is this all ages, but then I remembered,
no, it's
no,
not.
he's fucking
I
high,
would
so no.
say like NC-17 or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cool. Okay. So
And this biker brawl happens when Smokes is at the bar.
sure.
These two rival biker gangs just go at it,
Sure.
and
So
kind of a
what's
bring.
what's 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 his goal now? So now Smokes is like he's free, right? He's
Yeah, he's free.
so what's his goal? Will he just be roaming around, or does he have a certain
He wants to
um
get out of the clutches of the government and wants
mhm,
just to be free, and just like everybody else wants. He just wants to be just a regular free person.
sure.
But now he's got this killer werewolf on the loose,
Mhm.
out to get him. So the whole issue, he's trying to stay free and get away from the program and all the army and the military that's going to be coming after him,
Right.
because if anybody sees him, it's going to expose the program. There's the piece that Peter Palmiotti did the inks for.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
It's a tribute to Bob
Okay.
Layton's
Bob
Demon in
Layton,
a
yeah.
Bottle.
Cool.
I came up with this one day. I was like, how would this work for Smokes? How would I make this how would I do this homage cover? And I came up with the idea of putting a mannequin head, like he's in the costume shop, and there's a
Mhm.
mannequin head, and then I put the glasses on him, the same color as Iron Man's armor, and the head of the mannequin the same color as like Iron Man. That's And then replace the the bottle of whiskey or whatever with a bong.
Right.
And I don't know, I thought it came out great. I just did like the stick figure drawing, and I sent it to my artist Lee Oaks, and I was like, "Can you draw this?"
Yeah.
And he did a pretty good job. He knocked it out, I thought.
Yeah. Sure. Looks good. You have some all the
Better than
surviving
I can
drawing.
draw. Look at how I draw.
Well.
So I have that drawing right now. I lost all my early drawings, but apparently I put them in a folder.
Mhm.
And one day, I got this package from my ma, and I opened it up, and it was this folder, and it had a bunch of crap in it. There's a lot of old stuff that I used to have as a kid. And tucked inside was this smokes piece, which I thought was way long gone, and it was almost like it's fragile paper now, almost like it needs to be preserved because no longer paper anymore. It's like it's changed consistency or whatever. It's very
Wow.
delicate. I
Okay.
just scanned it and threw it in there, so it's like the oldest surviving drawing.
Sure.
It's like a relic now.
Yes. It started here. Yeah.
So
And then
1993, I think, was the year I created them.
yes. It says here 1993. That's right.
I'm pretty sure that's the
Yeah.
year.
Then we have Weaponized Werewolf, covered by Tim Vigil and Carl Ritter and Xevious. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I always liked Tim Vigil's work.
Mhm.
He's very graphic. Likes to draw a lot of sexual imagery, but this cover didn't really call for that. This called for gory, and I
Mhm.
know that he draws a really good werewolf, so I thought he would be perfect. And
Yeah.
I just hit him up one day and I said, "Hey, do you want to draw a werewolf cover for me?" And I told him the scene where the hunter was poaching an eagle, and the werewolf kills him and rips him apart,
That's
and he
gruesome.
just went overboard on the goriness.
But still, you thought it was presentable. You want
Yeah,
it was
I like to have the let the artist have the freedom to
sure.
do what they want. I wasn't gonna say,
Yes.
"Oh, I don't want the entrails coming out."
No. No. It's goddamn Tim Vigil, right?
Yeah, so I let him do his thing, and then I
Yes.
had Kyle Ritter do the colors. But after he did the colors, Tim Vigil wanted some changes on the colors,
Oh.
and Kyle Ritter was just doing too much stuff that he wasn't able to do the changes. So I had to get Xevious in there and do some changes, which I didn't want to do really, but it was my only option. But now we got a mixture of
Why
two
are
colorists on that
aren't you aren't you
cover.
the one in charge? Like you say, no,
Yeah,
the
but
colors stay. I like them.
well, I wanted to make sure that Tim Vigil was happy and wanted
Mm,
got the colors how he wanted them, and
okay.
Kyle Ritter was just busy. So
Sure.
I know Xevious does a good job with colors, so I just had him finish it up.
By the way, in the chat we have Bristolian Dave. All right, me
Hey, what's
Babbers.
up, man? Babbers.
Yes. Welcome, Dave. We're taking a look at Smokes the Fox and Weaponized Werewolf. So basically, if I got it correctly, you approached Mike Barron for Smokes the Fox if he wanted to write it, and he added his own like short story of this werewolf, and you somehow
Um,
combined that.
he uh, he just included the character. I didn't think about a villain in the story. I thought the
Oh,
government
right,
would.
right.
I thought the government would basically be the villain as a
Sure.
whole. The military would be the villain or whatever, the
Mhm.
protagonist. But he said, he came up with the werewolf,
Yes.
and then I ran with that idea, named him Weaponized Werewolf, and then created this supplemental 12-page story to go with. So I told Mike that I wanted a second story with
Mhm.
this werewolf.
Right. So the Weaponized Werewolf is not a full issue. It's a shorter book, right?
Yeah, it's just a 12-page
Sure.
story, but it's I think it's 24 pages total because we have some fan art in there and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. He's pretty
Yeah,
big. See here.
yeah, he's a big boy.
Mhm.
Um, very violent.
So the alien here, he's the only alien on the planet.
He's just the guy, the alien that's in charge of the
This project.
program.
Yeah,
But
right.
there's other Greys. He's just one of many Greys.
Hmm. Okay, okay, and these Greys, they live together with humans without problem.
No,
Or
he has his own planet.
okay,
But he's just here to oversee the genetics program for this Project Minotaur that's making these hybrids,
all right.
and these aliens need these hybrids. It isn't revealed
Okay,
why yet,
right.
why they need them. But when you read the story, you'll get to understand why. I don't want to like give it away on here if you haven't read it. But it's a very cool story. I think you enjoy it if you get into it. Mike Barron, did a great job on the script,
Hmm.
and yeah, he just finished the second script,
All
and
right.
so we're just moving along. I think I'm going to do like 3 or 4 issues, something like that,
Hmm.
for like a story arc, and then maybe revisit it again and do another arc, kind of like Hellboy, how they have like a mini series after mini series. So
Sure,
I'm just, as long as people like it and buy it, I'm gonna keep making it because it's something I want to do. It's a project I enjoy.
sure. But at first, you wanted to do one book, right? With
Yeah,
this
I
story.
only wanted to do Smokes.
Yes.
The Weaponized Werewolf's gonna take the back seat for a little
Sure.
bit. And I'm just gonna put out issue 2 of Smokes, and then
Right.
later on I might do a first issue of Weaponized Werewolf. I just don't have the means or the funds or the time to work on 2 books
Yes.
at the same time. And
Hmm.
I got this other campaign that's brewing right now for my action figure, my little 2-inch
An action
figures.
figure. Oh, that's
Yeah,
cool.
the little 2-inch muscle men size figure.
Okay.
Uh,
From these characters.
yeah, it's just I only have one.
Smokes.
It's Smokes. Yeah, it's a
Hmm.
Smokes figure.
Cool.
So that's coming up
Cool.
next. That's what I'm going to be dropping next. My next campaign is going to be a little mini campaign.
Right. This looks badass, man. It's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's a scene from Sepoy's world.
Hmm.
He's telling you what's going on there, what happened. I don't want to give away too much, but that's
No,
just a
and
scene from
somehow this ties into the Smoke story also.
yeah. So there's some alien action. I'm big into that kind of stuff, aliens and paranormal,
Sure.
ghosts, whatever.
But
So
but
I
but now that it will be like you said, like 4 issues. Did you have the 4 issue arc planned?
no, I
So
didn't. A lot of people have their books planned out like 10
sure.
books ahead. I didn't. I
Yes.
didn't do that. Um, I don't even know how it's gonna go,
Yeah.
honestly,
So
after this issue.
it's a surprise to you as
Yeah,
well.
I'll come up with it, or I'll think about how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Mike will come up with something.
Sure.
But it's gonna be
The
it's gonna be a fun time. It's bringing back fun times to comics. You know what I mean? When comics used to
yes,
be about entertainment and not trying to shove a message down your throat.
exactly. This is
Um,
just like pure entertainment. You're not trying to tell people something besides a fun story, right?
I'm a
Mm.
big Valiant fan, so it's kind of like a Valiant book. If
Mhm.
To me, it's more of a Valiant book than like an Image type book.
Okay. Okay. What's the biggest difference?
The difference is, the great story, good story. Image Comics kind of lacked on the stories, but Image had really like over the top artwork.
Sure.
Mine doesn't really have the artwork of the feel of an Image comic with like muscles everywhere. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
but it still has good artwork, and the main focus though is the story.
Hmm.
So I thought that Valiant did it better back in the '90s because they had the good art and the good story,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what I
Right.
wanted to do with this project. I wanted to have both,
Mhm.
and
So
I wanted to. Go ahead.
can people get the this cover signed by everyone?
I believe so. I believe I have it up, or I just had it on my Kickstarter.
All right.
I only have a few of those left, but I just wanted to show what it looks like printed.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It came out pretty good for my first time. I didn't know what to expect. I never, made a comic book before, so everything was new to me.
Did you
How
sign
everything
this?
worked.
Did you sign this when you were together, or did you just ship it around to each other?
I did everything in person because everybody's in Colorado, so I just had Lee
Right.
Oaks meet me at Mike Barron's house, and it was about, I don't know, an hour and a half drive from me to go to Mike's house, and we just met, and we hung out in his living room or whatever, in his kitchen, and just signed some books.
Mm-hmm.
And I signed mine at home. I didn't want to sign mine with them, so I just signed mine later. But I just had them, sign. Just kept it going. Just kept pushing the books in front of them, and so it went along pretty quickly. I didn't want to be there all day and take up his whole day, so I
Sure.
just wanted to get the stuff signed. Um,
Cool.
that's the Jay Lee sketch.
The J. Lee sketch.
Yeah, I was actually an invited guest at the Colorado Springs Con, so it's the first time that I was ever a guest at any convention. Usually, I just go to the convention as as a customer, as a
Mm-hmm.
fan, and I
Yep.
walk around the floor and I'll get some sketches. And like I said, I always loved Jay Lee. The first time I met him, I think, was in 1993 or four. It was at the New York Comic Con. My friend's dad drove us to New York City from upstate New York, and it was about 3.5 hour drive or so. And I remember that Jay Lee was there, and I think it was the first time I met him. I don't think I can afford a sketch at that time, so I didn't get a sketch the first time I met him. But
Mm-hmm.
I took a picture of him with a Polaroid camera. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And later on, I showed Jay Lee that Polaroid picture that I took, and I had him sign it, and he thought it was cool. So we became friends, kind of like after that. And he was at that same show as a guest at Colorado Springs as me, and he was surprised, to see me as a guest at that show. And I just asked him. I said, would you draw Smokes? And I handed him the blank cover. And the next day, he came to my table and dropped it off. So he hand delivered it to me. It was
Wow.
unbelievable.
That's awesome. That's a great story, man. That's fantastic. Weaponized Werewolf.
Yeah. Then I went back for seconds because I saw him at the Denver Con.
You
The
did
Denver
this
Con was
this
just a few
also.
weeks ago. Yeah, he drew
Wow.
both. A few weeks ago, he was a guest at the Denver Con.
Mm-hmm.
I also got to meet Mark Silvestri for the first time, and he was like on my bucket list of creators that I've always wanted to
Yeah. Yeah.
meet.
Of
And for
course.
some reason, I've been to all these shows and I never got a chance to meet Mark Silvestri. I always wondered why he never left California. Why doesn't he do a show outside of California? And I found out that because he's like 6'5" or something like that, he's so tall that he doesn't like to fly because it's uncomfortable for him being
Yeah.
cramped up in that little
Okay.
little seat. So
Okay. Right. All right. Some stickers people get.
yeah, I still got the stickers. 6
Mm-hmm.
AM did a great job on those.
Yes.
That's
Packaging.
what the package looks like when you get it. I
It's
got the
neat when you
custom.
can make your own like tape. Right. It's cool.
Yeah, I saw Luke Stone had his own tape for Arrow Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's
and I
really
and
cool.
I asked them where he got it from, and they got it from I believe it was Sticker Mule.
Right.
And Sticker Mule will sell you by the foot. You could buy
Mm-hmm.
like 50 feet. And I
Okay.
just sent them my EPS file of my logo and told them,
Sure.
I wanted it on black tape. And they send you the roll, and it lasts a long time. You don't need that much for each package. And it kind of reinforces your package, and it looks a lot better. It looks a lot
Yeah.
better.
Looks
The
professional.
Gemini is a good product, but it doesn't really have a good look to it in the mail when you got a piece of tape, a regular piece of
Yeah.
tape on it. I don't think it just
Yes.
looks like a regular normal package. But
Yeah.
just by adding this tape, I think it adds a lot to the presentation of the package. I don't
It
know.
does. It does, man. I have to look into this also. I
Yeah,
just use regular tape, and then I slap this genuine
yeah. I
sticker
put a
on it.
little small
So
piece of tape underneath it, like the
yeah,
regular shipping tape, and
yes,
then you have to wet the back of that tape because it's activated by water. So they give
okay,
you like a little sponge,
right,
and then you just uh, just work the water on the back with the sponge, and then it'll make it'll like get sticky like a glue, and then you just slap it on. It only takes a few extra seconds. Once you get used to it, you can do it pretty quickly.
so this tape you have to make wet before you can
Yeah,
apply it.
you have to use a sponge.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so it's not like duct tape where it's sticky
right.
already.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
interesting, interesting.
that's the
Oh,
cosplay
Shay
that.
did some
Yeah,
cosplay.
Shay.
That's brilliant.
I didn't know what to expect, if she was gonna look like a furry or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at
When I
this.
created Smokes, I didn't know what the hell a furry was.
Right.
It wasn't really a big thing. I think they were existed in 1993, but they
Yeah.
weren't like
You're
a
furry.
big.
Suddenly you were part of this community you knew nothing about.
Yes, and then when I came out with my book, I found myself on Kiwi Farms. You familiar
Okay.
with Kiwi Farms?
No, I heard about it,
Uh,
but
yeah, like when people like dox you or whatever and post pictures of your family and their phone numbers and tell people that you're I don't know, that you didn't vote for Biden or whatever it is, and they try to air you out. But someone made an article or something about me, or a post on Kiwi Farms, that said that I had a furry agenda.
what's that?
They said I had a furry agenda, that basically my comic book was trying to like promote furryism or whatever. That I was like big into furries, and I was trying to, my agenda for my comic book is to, make everybody like furries or something. I don't know. I thought it was
Okay.
funny. To me, it was funny.
Did it work? Did you get many people converted to furryism?
No, I didn't convert anybody to furryism.
Uh, Now this book is looking nice, man. The art's pretty cool. It's great that you got Mike Barron on board for this. Uh, Tim Vigil, Kyle Ritter, awesome stuff, man. Really
I
cool.
got, I got the best people that I could get.
Yeah.
I had a big budget. I wanted to like, you know, um, do a really good job and make Mike proud,
Hmm.
because I thought it was I was very fortunate to get a script from Mike Barron. I'm sure there's other people that asked Mike for a script and he turned them down.
Hmm.
I didn't know Mike was a smoker. See, the reason how I got Mike to draw this book is because he digs marijuana. I didn't really know that at the time. I had a
That did it.
suspicion.
Right.
I
Yeah.
had a suspicion that he might like weed, but
You
so
got lucky.
he said he was born to write the comic book.
Okay. Okay. Great. So he wants to do like more issues than you can handle at this point.
Yeah, he wants to work on it, but he's doing so many things now. He's working on Blue Line 2, I think he just finished.
Hmm.
He's got a bunch of projects in the work. He's always working on all kinds of things. Like he's working on another Florida Man. He's working on a Badger story, another Badger book. Some sequels to some other books, maybe another Florida Man. So he stays busy, and he's just pumping out really really good stuff right now. I think he's in the height of his career, man. And he's just doing a really good job. I had to wait a little while to get my second script from him,
Hmm.
since he's so busy. So that kind of delayed things. So but you got to wait sometimes if you want to get who you want to work with. So a lot of times it's just waiting. So it took like 3 years to produce, issue 1 and Weaponized Werewolf. So it took a lot of time, but a lot of that time was just waiting for people to
Yes.
be available.
Right.
If you want somebody, you have to wait. They might have 3 jobs ahead of you or whatever. You got to wait and get your spot in line in the queue.
Hmm.
And if you want to work with who you want to work with. But originally, I wanted Gerhard to draw the interiors of Smokes, but he just
Okay.
didn't have the time to do it.
Right.
And
But you got a good artist nonetheless.
Yeah, I got Lee Oaks to
Yeah.
do the work, and he's a local guy.
Yes.
He's done some. It's weird. So you ever watch? You're listening to Coast AM, that
No.
radio show. It's about
No.
paranormal stuff. They talk about
No. I don't
UFOs.
think we get it here. I'm from the Netherlands. We don't
Oh,
get it.
oh, but you can watch it on the internet radio.
Okay. Right.
But he did my artist Lee Oaks. He did some covers for this guy who does Bigfoot. Not Bigfoot. Giants. He does writes books about giants.
All right.
Um, I don't know if you know anything about that stuff, but supposedly there's bodies, bones that have been dug up of these giants, and the Smithsonian is covering them up, and they take the bones, then you never see them again, and then they never display them. They kind of hide the existence of these giant bones for some reason. They don't
Mm.
want anybody to know about that. And my artist actually drew some covers for this famous writer. So
Right.
he's kind of into the UFOs and stuff like that. So I got a good team. He digs the character, and I get to see him because he was at the Denver Con, so I got to see my artist there. So I like to keep, local. Have a
Mhm.
nice, have a local team, a
Sure.
creative team.
So what? Just imagine this book gets turned into a movie. So what
A
would
movie.
what would Smokes look like? Is that more like the Sonic? Uh,
I don't know. I never thought about a movie, but it was weird. When I first started making the book, um,
yes.
Weaponized Werewolf, I just had the black and white art by Tim Vigil, and I showed it to Mike Barron, and I said, Mike, don't post this yet. I'm not ready to promote yet. It's too early. But Mike liked the artwork so much, he went and posted it on his Facebook like the next day, right?
Mm.
And then he messaged me out of the blue. He's like, Justin, I'm like, what? He's like, I posted that cover, and then I was like, oh man, why did he do that? And then he goes, guess what? And I go, what? Shane Black likes your book. And I was like, who the fuck is Shane Black? And then he like told me who he was, and then I remembered, oh yeah, he's the director of Lethal Weapon and Predator, the original two Predator movies, I believe. And he
Mm.
did Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger. But he made this comment. He said, where can I get this? I'm in, or something like that. And just a quick comment,
Yeah.
and it got me really excited because I had a director, a Hollywood director, that I look up to. I've seen his movies. Brilliant director, like my comic book,
Yes.
based on just one image of a cover that Tim Vigil did. And I tried to reach out to him later on when the book was finished to say, hey, I want to send you a copy, but I never got a response from him. I'm sure he's busy doing things, not going to answer some guy's DM on Facebook or whatever.
Dean is here. Welcome, Dean. Dean says
Dean,
he also made the terrible Iron Man 3.
he did?
Apparently,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know either. But yeah, Iron Man 3 was not the best. No.
I'm going to
But
try to reach out to him again. I'd like to send him at least a digital copy or a
sure.
copy in the mail to check out.
Yeah, speaking of digital copies, let's go through your perks quickly, right? You have digital comics. You could get both comics for $12 as PDFs.
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. And these books are done, right? Because this is like
Yeah,
everything's
done. I ship
Sure.
out once a week if someone buys a
Yes.
physical book.
Yes. You get the book with the main cover. Is this right? Or the
Yeah, this is the main cover. So if you just
Mhm.
want Smokes, but you're not getting Weaponized Werewolf with this tier, it's just
Okay. Right. $13. Right. You get stickers with it. Do you want your book signed? So you sign it for free also if people want to.
yeah. If someone wants my autograph, I'll sign it, and then you get
Sure.
the 6 a.m. stickers.
Cool. $20 you get both books.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want
Awesome.
those signed,
And you ship worldwide?
no, I'm
No?
only shipping to Canada and the U.S. right now.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I'm sorry.
so but
It's just
if you live abroad, you can purchase the digital copy.
yeah, I'm hoping to maybe work out something, but it's just that the shipping is so expensive, and I would have
Yeah.
to ship like the Gemini inside of another package if I'm going to ship it somewhere very far. So
Yeah,
I sent the
what I
package to a
heard
guy in the huh?
is that it's more expensive to ship from the US to, for instance, Europe than vice versa. For some reason, I don't know. But
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I didn't even at first. I didn't even offer Canada because I'm new to this whole shipping thing, and I
mhm,
didn't want to take on more than I can handle. I'm already putting together comic books that I never made before. I'm already doing all these extra things and making bottle openers and all this swag and all this stuff, and I just didn't want to add more stuff to my plate. But
sure.
later on, I did add Canada shipping because I use Pirate Ship, and then Pirate Ship lowered their prices
Mm,
on on to Canada, so
okay.
I can ship out a comic for $12 to Canada. Before it was $21 or something, and that was too
Wow.
expensive. I'm not going to charge $21 to my customer to
Yeah,
get a
it's
comic
crazy.
book. That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah. So people can get the legendary pack. So that's with the variant cover. You can get two sketch covers.
Yeah, I just added this tier. I only made about 30 of
Hmm.
each one of those books
Sure.
for the blank covers. I mainly made them for myself to get sketches on and maybe offer them later on. I was going to get some
Right.
sketches and maybe offer them. But there's some people that have been buying them. I
Yeah.
sold some on Kickstarter, and I think I sold one on here. So
Yeah.
there's some out there.
You have
I hope
12 left.
I hope they pop up somewhere and I see some sketches.
Yeah, that would be great. All the covers for $30. That's nice. Little discount there. $35 you get all the virgin covers. Oh, yeah, virgin covers also.
Yeah, they're very rare. I decided just to print some up. I think I've only made like 30 of each one of those as well.
All right.
So there's only about 90 all together.
All right. All right. Cool. 65, you get pack of smokes. This is every book, right?
Everything. Every book that I've produced, every
Every version.
variant.
Hmm. Cool. And you can also get original art.
Yes, I sold a couple pages of artwork, so I have some available. I don't have every page because my artist owns a lot of those pages.
Yes.
Um, but I was able to get my inker Rodney Ramos was generous and actually gave me his share of pages, the
Cool.
inker. So he gave me so I ended up with like about a third of the pages, and some of them I'm keeping for myself, like because it's my first comic book.
Yeah.
I'd rather just own that page or whatever, like the first page that shows smokes in the comic. I'm going to keep that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sell that, but
Mhm.
I do have some really great artwork available, like that page right there. Um, so if anybody
Really
wants to
cool.
pick
Yeah.
up a page, it's already signed by
Awesome.
Mike Barron, and so it's
Yeah.
ready to go.
You get the digitals with it.
Yeah, everybody was asking me, does it come with a comic book? And I decided the easiest way to do it would just be to send it digital
Sure.
because it's a pain in the ass to mail a comic book with original art.
Yes, I know. Then for 150 you get an original page from Weaponized Werewolf.
Yeah, that's $10 more than the other pages because you actually get two pages. You get the pencils on one board, and you get the
Oh,
original inks on the other
oh
board.
really?
Yeah, because my artist did the pencils on one board, and then he sent the scans to the inker, and the inker blue line the
Huh.
inks on there. So
Okay, great. 225 you get the cover preliminary set.
yeah, there's two little small prelims for the Weaponized Werewolf Zero cover. So Tim Vigil, I told Tim that I wanted those prelims, and I decided to offer them for sale because I don't want to sell the cover. I want to keep the actual original art for the cover.
Great. All right, man. Great.
That's
Guys,
about it.
the link to this campaign is pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. Please check it out. Also in the description is Justin's YouTube channel. So subscribe, right?
Yeah,
Because he
I'm
does,
pushing. I'm getting close to 500 subs.
yes, and he does 6-hour long streams. So be
No, I
warned.
only did it one time, Dave.
All right. You have 202 backers. Let's refresh. 202 backers. We're refreshing. FundMyComic, 202 backers, but you went over the 10K, man. That's crazy good. Excellent.
Yeah, it was hard work. It's not easy.
Yes,
There's some people that can do it, in a weekend or something, in a couple of days, but
it's definitely not easy, but you did it, man.
it's
So
not easy.
congratulations, man.
Thank you.
All right, so Justin, I wanted to thank you for being my guest today, and for showing us your book.
Yeah, thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, you're very welcome, sir. And special thanks to the chat for everyone who showed up to watch us. Thank you so much. Please give this conversation a like if you enjoyed it. If you didn't enjoy it, give us a dislike. And I'm very sorry. I'll be back next Sunday. Same time, same channel, new guest. Hope to see you guys then. Bye-bye.